Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another adventure of the Real Comic Heroes podcast. My name is Travis Bowe from the Watchmen Minute podcast.
Wow, that's much fancier than I am. I'm Patrick from this show.
And I'm Rory M. Spence from the Doghair Network.
Welcome back, Rory.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's always good to come on that show. Just have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, great having you.
Well, if you're new to the show, every episode we revisit geeky movies chronologically and try to avoid our spines being removed from our bodies so that we can remain goddamn sexual tyrannosauruses. You can find our list of reviews over at reelcomicheternetwork.com. Patrick, who are we hiding from this week?
Well, I won't spoil anything, but it's a clickety-clack monster with some questionable vision, known as the Predator.
Hell yeah, it's the Predator.
It's a good thing he's got that helmet. Without that thing, oof.
It's one ugly motherfucker.
That's right.
That's right. That and, wow, he can really not see at all without that helmet. I forgot how bad his vision was.
He needs a helmet to help focus. He's like Spider-Man in Homecoming. He needs those goggles to focus because it's too much input.
Nice. Of course, you turn something badass like the Predator into something geeky, Travis. Jesus. But yeah, we're in the wheelhouse of Arnold Schwarzenegger and the super actiony 80s.
Yeah, this is just rewatching it, this is just pure action.
Oh, yeah.
Pure 80s action, so.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I always kind of wonder how people think of 80s action films that, are a bit younger.
Sure.
Because it's been spoofed so much, and you got, like the Expendables and things like that now.
Yeah.
To kind of harken back to it.
Yeah.
Seem to do pretty well, but it's always just curious to see how this is all going to pan out for future generations.
Yeah. Yeah, they really don't make movies like this, anymore. And even when they make a Predator movie anymore, it seems like they're really lacking the raw masculinity that this movie has.
Wow, I guess Travis really liked this movie.
It's a very manly movie.
It really is.
Especially in the first act, you can really feel the testosterone.
Yeah, everyone just trying to one-up each other and be the tougher, bigger man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we actually get into it instead of just talking about oily men?
We're going to jump right back into oily men in a minute.
Yeah. What did you find out was the baby oil budget, Patrick?
Oh, it looks like, well, this is 1980s, 87, so carry the one. We're looking at about 2.25 million.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah. If my math is correct.
Right, yeah.
The baby oil market's kind of in flux now.
Took a real nosedive after.
Yeah, it's just a wild ride.
94, so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Act 1 is going to begin with an alien craft sending a pod to Earth and ends with an elite military rescue unit successfully destroying everything in the jungle, but failing to save any hostages. Act 2 begins with the team planning their evacuation from the jungle and ends with the entire team, except for one, being eliminated by something in the jungle. And Act 3 begins with Dutch preparing to make a last stand and ends with Dutch finally getting to the chopper.
Yeah, they should just call this movie Chopper.
Yeah.
Made it more mysterious.
Choppers and how to get there.
Or montage the movie. One of the two.
There were some good montages here.
There was.
It's kind of like a Home Alone style, setting up traps and shit like that. So
A-Team mask.
Yeah, yeah. So what is I guess what Rory will ask you first. What is your history with the Predator?
This is one of those movies I don't really know what my history is because it's just always kind of been there, I've seen this hundreds of times, and I love this movie. And I have those little Funko Pop things.
Sure.
I have two of them. One's Superman, one's Predator.
Ooh, that's a good movie.
Yeah, Superman from Predator.
It's just kind of, I assume I probably seen it first in the UK. There's a channel called Channel 5, which is terrible now. And when I was young, the only good thing about it was they used to just show action movies almost every night.
Yeah.
They would have seasons, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger season. So I assume that's probably where I first saw it, when I was probably too young to be seeing it. But I've just always loved this movie. So.
Right on.
Nice. And as it should be. You should see it young.
Yeah.
It's a different time.
Absolutely. Patrick, what about you?
Let's see. My dad was huge into action, so we'd rent this one every now and again. It came out in '87, so probably like both of you, it sort of was already there. And so I was like 6 when it came out, so I probably didn't see it till I was probably like 10 or
7.
something. Yeah. But I saw the sort of TV edit version and didn't realize until high school how horrible the jokes were in this movie from one particular person, I guess. He really had a theme and stuck to it. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kudos to him. But I sort of fell off from Predator, but got back into it with I blame Predator 2 for that. Or Predator Goes to New York or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get back into it until the Alien versus Predator thing hit back up.
I'll just make a correction to something I said there. I just turned around and noticed I do have another Funko Pop thing. It's Han Solo. And that is interesting because I've been on this show for Star Wars, Superman, and now Predator.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
And I assume you have a Pizza the Hut Funko Pop?
That's next. That's the plan to get one.
How about you, Travis?
Just like Rory, this one was it was always on. Like for here, it was Channel 4. It's like on a Sunday afternoon, you're pretty much guaranteed to find a movie like Predator or Hard Target or any Seagal or Van Damme or Schwarzenegger or any of those action movies on a Sunday afternoon. We're always playing. It seems like so. I definitely will I would watch big chunks of it as a kid, but I don't think I ever actually sat down to watch it from start to finish until, sometime in my early to mid 20s. I think around the time, that just like Patrick, that Alien versus Predator was coming out. So I was actually excited when that was coming out. So I watched, Alien and then this. I know at one point I've rewatched all the Predator, stuff. So Predator and then Alien versus Predator and then the sequel to that. I vaguely remember seeing Predator 2 as a kid, and that one really creeped me out. So I've never revisited it, but that'll be interesting to come back around to that one. But
I only seen that for the first time recently because I just heard it was awful, so I put off watching it. But I was actually pleasantly surprised.
Oh, okay.
Just getting ahead of ourselves here, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I was just I'd seen Lethal Weapon, and I only see him as Murtaugh.
Oh, sure.
So the whole time I keep waiting for him to say I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah. It's an odd jump to go from, a Schwarzenegger movie in the jungle to Danny Glover in the city.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
All right.
Yeah.
So taglines for this movie are kind of uninspired, and I sort of don't even want to go through them.
Well, it is your mandate, so.
Well, there's 8, but I don't really consider there to be 8.
Okay, that's a bit much, yeah.
They reiterate the same thing over and over, and I'm pretty sure one is a synopsis rather than a tagline, because there's like 4 sentences. So I'll go with my feeling as to what the tagline is, and just weed out the rest. So we've got, obviously, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Classic.
And then nothing like it has ever been on Earth before. Yeah. And then it comes for the thrill of the hunt. It picked the wrong man to hunt.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And then soon the hunt will begin. Meh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next few are kind of just jamming those all together.
Sure.
Then there's we cannot see it, but it sees the heat of our bodies and the heat of our fear.
Wow, that's a little much.
That is right up your alley, Travis, with the whole masculine movie mention you had.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, and we'll just leave it at that. That's a good one to stop on.
I assume there'd be more use of the word jungle in there.
Yeah, no. But it does make sense, because I believe the original title was Hunter.
Yeah.
So that's probably why we got so much hunting.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I actually think that's a better title.
Oh, yeah?
Well, it's more descriptive of what it is, I think. It's more of a hunter than I mean, I know that kind of means the same thing, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it definitely hunts.
I don't know. I think I like Predator because when you think of it, nothing really hunts humans. And so, I mean, obviously humans have been hunted by other animals, but not really like, so we don't really have any predators that actively hunt us, So I think I like the idea that there's a predator and it's something that's hunting humans. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a cooler name than Hunter. I mean,
sure.
If I was going to the theater, I'd be like, Hunter. We're gonna watch some dude track down deer. What?
Right.
Yeah. It's another that when they make those, like, is it Asylum that makes the rip-off films? There's an Alien versus Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Obviously, the word alien isn't trademarked in any way, so you can just fire that on. But...
Nice. Yeah, I mean, throughout the movie, I was waiting for some kind of Predator mention, but all they had was Hunter references, hunting. So I guess they changed it halfway through filming or something.
Or just after production, maybe, leading up to the marketing and release, maybe it came much later. Who knows?
Yeah.
Makes me kind of smile because we've got, where I work in a print shop, and we've got these posters kind of around the office, and one of them says, "If it bleeds, we can crop it."
Nice.
Yeah, I really like that. So.
Some dorky printing.
Little print humor.
Wordplay.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Way less manly, but hey, whatever.
All right. So should we start talking about Act 1?
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right.
Get to start off with a very confusing beginning.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I didn't really understand what was going on when I was originally watching this. I don't know why. I couldn't figure out if something was leaving or coming.
Oh, in space, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I watched it a bit more carefully, and I'm still confused as to what I was watching.
Okay.
I don't know why. I mean, it may be just I'm distracted by a small child that I have to protect from hurting itself. But those were air quotes if you couldn't tell.
Right.
But I honestly did not even remember that part.
I didn't either.
Has it always been there? Or like, I don't remember that at all.
And it's such a minor little thing. Like, it would be easy to. I also have no recollection of there being it's starting out with a ship in space and dropping off this not an escape pod, like more of just a standalone
handicraft or whatever.
Yeah, a little pod, but I think this movie would have worked with no like space, little tie-in at the start. I don't think it hurts.
I think it would have worked. I think it does slightly.
Oh, do you?
Because especially like through the first act and in the second, you kind of just don't. If you had no idea what this movie was about, you wouldn't really know what was going on in a good way. Like you wouldn't know what the Predator was,
Yeah, I would have thought he was like a jungle demon or something.
Sure.
Because like she keeps saying like the jungle came and attacked him or something.
Right.
So yeah, it would have been kind of cool not to have that weird space scene there at the beginning.
And honestly, I think in the first act when they're kind of approaching the, I don't know what you call them, the guerrilla encampment.
Yeah.
I think that's when you get the first look at the whole infrared, the heat vision or whatever, the predator vision. I think it could have actually worked in the first act. I think it would have worked a little bit better with zero predator involvement whatsoever. I think you could have brought all of that stuff into the second act so that, because to me, the first act is all about establishing that these guys are, I mean, Dylan even says it, they're the best, and then we get to see that this is like an elite, well-trained, what is it? It's like a rescue team. I mean, that's what they're there to do is get these hostages out. And so I like that you spend the entire first act seeing them working as this well-oiled machine, and pun intended with well-oiled. So the idea that then the second act, something we start to see that something then hunts this team that we've already established is the best,
Yeah, I think he could have gotten away with not doing the heat vision, and just had the sort of paranoia of the what is it, Billy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And just use his like senses or whatever it is that triggers him to notice something.
Yeah.
Just had that be the sort of tension.
Yeah, and you've got the sort of like the skinned corpses and stuff like that. It would be enough to suggest that there's something more going on, but not entirely give it away.
Yeah, oof. That they wrote that down as the meat tree. That was just oof.
Yeah,
I forgot how haunting that was.
Yeah.
But you're right. In the meat tree, it's when Billy's the one that finds the chopper crew, I guess.
So yeah. What'd you guys think of the music intro?
I actually really like the music throughout the movie. It's very, it's perfect for this time. It would work in like a Rambo movie, or I like it pretty much throughout. And there's this interesting thing they do. It sounds almost like a mechanical, like clunking every now and then, and it reminds me of one of the sound clips that they pair with the smoke monster in Lost. Kind of a mechanical clunking, and I'm pretty convinced that used Predator as a reference, when creating that sound. So
yeah, I thought it was a bit super actiony just to watch some guys get off a chopper and then drive on the beach. Like it was pretty epic.
Sure.
Pretty mundane activities.
Yeah. Well, what I like is that they get out of the choppers, they jump into Jeeps, and then they drive 20 yards.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of stuff though. It's got all the miniguns and
but I think the men could have walked over from point A to point B.
Travis, it was wet on the beach. You don't want leather shoes getting wet. I mean, they're not savages.
Right.
Jeez. And then we get the reunion scene.
Oh, yeah.
With the midair arm wrestle match.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
That's so good. That's the manliest moment in film history.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got the double D, Dylan and Dutch.
Oh, yeah.
I always forget his name. I always just refer to him as Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Creed.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him because Arnold's arm got all the focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's twice the size.
I just picture them having like a push-up war right before that scene.
Oh, yeah.
Those muscles are inflamed.
Yeah.
Veins are popping. I mean, it like directly got a injection of steroids or something. It is insane.
I watched one of the like behind the scenes videos, and that's a lot of like little interviews and kind of clips from everybody really in the movie. You know, Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers, and they talked about how just working out, on set or after shooting was really intense. And Carl Weathers never wanted to work out if anyone else was present, so he would get up at like 3 a.m. to go work out, and then show up on set because he thought like if anyone saw him work out, then they wouldn't think that this is just a natural, this is just him. He doesn't need to work out. So he would never work out if anyone else was around. And then I guess Schwarzenegger would play mind games with everyone else. Like he knew that, once Jesse Ventura, was cast and everything and they were all together there, he would go to the I don't know if it was the costumer or someone probably in wardrobe had Ventura showed up and saw like the measurement for Schwarzenegger's arms, like they did the tape around his bicep or whatever, and Jesse had them measure his arms and was really proud when he was like 2 or 3 inches larger. And then later on set, Ventura came up to Arnold, and said, "Hey, why don't we measure our arms?" Knowing that his were bigger. And Arnold was like, "Yeah, we should definitely do that." So they measure up and everything, and Arnold's were like 2 or 3 inches larger than Jesse's because Arnold had was purposely messing with Jesse Ventura and had them write down like an incorrect measurement earlier so that whoever would see it would, think that they were
so weird.
Yeah, just like playing these like little mind games with and that's kind of what I said earlier. It's just so much testosterone and masculinity, and
Have you seen Pumping Iron, the documentary?
I don't think I ever did.
Because that's what he does through the whole thing. He's always like playing mind game stuff. It's actually like he seems quite like vindictive in it quite often, especially with like Lou Ferrigno, who looks up to him and stuff like that, and he's quite mean to him almost. Like he messes with him.
He's like a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's weird.
Well, and that's one of the things like I wrote down watching them. Kind of once they find the camp and they're about to make the plan and everything. And just seeing all the guys like belly crawling through the leaves and kind of approaching and everything. And it's like, I remember doing that as a kid, like, going, playing in the woods, playing army or whatever, playing with toy guns and like crawling around on the ground. And it takes me right back to, being a kid like that and just seeing these guys like all sneaking around in the jungle.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I did not remember how brutal that headshot was with the prisoner.
Oh yeah. I
like they didn't cut away. That was like dead on.
Yeah.
And like you saw a piece fly out the other side.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Yeah.
You don't see that too often.
No, you're right. And the guy that takes that shot is Sven Ole Thorsen, who was in Conan, the Barbarian and Destroyer. He's the security guard LaFours in Mallrats. So he's like, but he's I guess John McTiernan uses him quite a bit. The director uses him in several movies, and then
Yeah.
He's been with in several Arnold Schwarzenegger movies as well. So
Yeah, it seems like Arnold likes to recycle
sure.
because, I mean, I think it's around this time that Running Man comes out, and I know Jesse Ventura's in that
Oh, okay.
as well, like prominently.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's a small fraternity of action dudes.
Probably, yeah. Well, I know that I was going to talk about it later, but I know that the effects, were done by Stan Winston, who did the Terminator effects, in the first Terminator film, and I read somewhere that was a recommendation from Schwarzenegger to once the original designs for the Predator kind of didn't work, Schwarzenegger recommended Stan Winston. So
I saw footage on the original.
yeah.
It's like a lobster on stilts.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I saw it on YouTube. I was just like messing around looking for stuff on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I guess Jean-Claude Van Damme was in the original suit.
Yep.
And not too happy about it.
No. They said they wanted someone like to move around and be able to fight like a ninja, but then once the suit just looked ridiculous, I guess. And
I've just looked up a picture. That is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean the reason that it's red is so that they could cut it, mask it out later.
Yeah.
To separate it from all the green. So it wouldn't have been red, but
it's still comical.
It's still, really silly. I completely forgot about like the added level of mystery with the whole down chopper and the cover story that they're going in to get some, cabinet member, and then you got the added level like of this Hopper character that was sent in previously to do the same job. Now they're like personal stakes for Dutch. So that was I kind of forgot about all that. And it was kind of a nice, like I said, it helps to set up this first act of showing these guys as this elite rescue team. So
yeah, gives them a reason to be there.
Right? Yeah.
A rescue team who just blow up everything when they go to rescue people.
Yeah. Oh man,
I like this team because nobody knows what the hell anyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Arnold's over there picking up a truck. Everyone's like, what the?
Yeah. It's funny because I later on, just looking through Wikipedia just at the movie itself, and they've got a listing of like the characters and kind of what their role is, and it's like I read through it and I was like, really? That's what that guy does? I mean, Mac, who is Bill Duke, like he's the team medic. I had there's no indication that he's like they're the medic, but the Billy, it makes sense. He's listed as being the tracker, which I don't know. Is that like
is that a stereotype?
Yeah, I mean, having the Native American shown as like being instantly like intuitive and this tracker.
I mean, that's definitely a stereotype.
Okay. I wasn't
assuming
sure
he is even Native American. I don't.
What's that?
Assuming he's actually Native American.
He is. Yeah.
Okay.
He's part Seminole Indian and Cherokee.
Okay. I'm never sure with the 80s. So
Yeah. Then you've got the gunner, obviously Jesse Ventura as Blaine Cooper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Explosive expert Jorge Pancho Ramirez, and that's the guy.
Yeah, he's the one
Gets hit with the log.
Yeah. He fires a grenade a couple times during that.
Yeah,
so
that's right. Okay.
That's the extent of its explosive.
See,
because that's when Jesse Ventura says, "I ain't got time to bleed." It's to him, and he fires a grenade and says, "Have you got time to duck?"
Yeah.
That's an awesome sequence.
Yeah.
I would have thought that Mac would have been the explosive expert because he's the one that later on sets up all the mines and sets up all the traps and stuff.
Does he not deactivate a trap at one point as well?
Or
helps Jesse Ventura deactivate one?
Right. The radio operator is Rick Hawkins.
Yeah.
He's the guy with the glasses always talking about, pussy.
Oh yeah, and how big it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
As big
Shane.
as a house.
Yeah.
Echo. Okay, guy, we get it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That guy is Shane Black, who later goes on to direct Iron Man 3 and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and
Just directing the new Predator movie.
Yeah. So he wrote Lethal Weapon. They brought him on in this because they wanted him to like take a look at the script and kind of rewrite it, but he didn't really want to or something. So they thought, well, we'll just hire him as an actor and then we'll pump him for ideas, on how to like rewrite the scenes as they were filming. So
That's smart.
yeah, it makes sense.
Well, you think he could write himself some better jokes?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the stealthy operation they're about to undertake escalates rather quickly when Dutch over there feels like lifting up a truck.
It's a good distraction.
I know, but it's like, does he even know where anybody's at in the camp?
No.
Does anybody know?
know
Because they are just flying bullets everywhere.
Oh,
yeah, they have no idea where the other hostage is or anything. Just
yeah, they know one just got capped in the head, I guess.
Yeah. It just seems like a very bad rescue team.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure at one point, Dylan, aka Creed, is just like sort of just spraying away. Like I don't even know if he knows where he's shooting.
They all are.
Oh. And the Gatling gun. I mean, how is that a stealth weapon?
Yeah.
I mean, they use the Gatling gun and grenade launchers are their main weapons.
I just it's like, use the right tool for the job, guys.
Yeah.
Just saying. I just love action movies from the 80s.
Yeah. And this is the pinnacle of that, really, isn't it? It's just
it sort of dies out mid-90s.
Yeah.
Or late to mid-90s.
Yeah. What overtook it, but there's nothing really like. What were they actually like? I suppose like after like Matrix, everything started becoming like the Matrix, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of the point. And superhero movies,
comic book
related. Yeah. So that started in the early 2000s. So.
Yeah, I think sci-fi kind of took the reins with Matrix.
Yeah.
I think there's kind of like a combo with the Stargate the movie.
Oh yeah.
It's got Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Awesome action man. But it sort of delves in more to the sci-fi arena.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Oh, just the demise of the 80s action film.
Oh, yeah.
And, heavy topics of discussion.
Do you notice we were just talking about how, like, they're pretty loose with their weapons and shooting everywhere. And then after the firefight, Dutch tells Mac to, like leave no traces and cover their tracks. And it's like, are they going to go through the jungle and pick up all their spent shell casings? Like, well, I don't know what that means. Like, leave no traces. You just blew up, this. Yeah. Like, what the hell are you talking about, dude?
Maybe they're just going to burn everything and then walk away.
They're already dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mac's got a super powerful magnet that collects all the bullets for them.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Yeah, that seems like a tall task.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, I love it. I can't remember who it is, but someone comes in to tell them that the other hostage is dead. Like, unsurprisingly, after that. Like,
yeah, I think we're all to assume that they didn't do it. And
it's friendly fire.
Somehow. Yeah. Friendly fire. God.
you get hit by an exploding truck.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no reason not to think there wasn't a hostage in that tent.
They thought there was a hostage somewhere, so...
Yeah.
Well, I think... And obviously, like, we find out, I mean, Dylan is disguising their reason to be there. So I'm not even certain there was another hostage, right? Because we saw one get killed, before they even started the firefight.
I think when they say like the other hostage is dead, I think that means he found a body.
Okay.
I would assume.
He looks like he was cut in half by a Gatling gun.
Yeah, 2 of the hostages got run over by a truck. How did that happen?
Yeah.
That's just cruel.
I like the discussion between Dylan and Dutch about the whole expendable aspect of their team. Just a nice little
Ironic.
ironic idea of that resurgence of these action heroes, with the Expendables franchise. So
Has Carl Weathers been in any of them? I've only seen the first one.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else he's done other than Arrested Development.
I know, that's what I always think of him as.
I always think of him as the dude from Happy Gilmore with the missing hand.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Get yourself a stew going.
But, I'm astonished that one woman actually survived all this.
Yeah.
So, we discovered that Dylan's betrayed them all. And now he's saddled with her, and I know nobody likes him already, just based on his clumsy footwork. So having him tag this lady along with him, probably not doing him any favors either.
Yeah. I love the interaction between Mac and Dylan with the whole, give away our position one more time. I'll bleed you.
Mac is so intense.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. We got the whole reason he's the medic. He knows how to bleed people.
Ooh, yeah.
He's a medieval doctor where bleeding you helps you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much the end of Act 1.
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now we get the tingling sense from the spidey sense from Billy.
Oh, yeah.
Something's out there. Watching, waiting. Oh wait, have we already missed the part where I get creeped out by Billy's laughter?
Yeah, that's just it's right after the.
Okay.
It's when they're walking away from the village or the encampment.
Okay.
That's that guy's real laugh. FYI.
Yeah.
It was freaking creepy.
Yeah. After Hawkins tells his brilliant joke to him.
Yeah. His second joke.
Yeah.
As big as a house. I believe it's that one.
Yeah. Which this kind of part, this setup of Act 2 here, it's like everyone is letting their guard slip a little.
Yeah.
They're making more noise. They're laughing in the jungle. And so I like that it starts to establish that they're becoming the prey. Obviously, and going back to what I was saying about we've seen these guys being the best, and now we're going to start to see something better than them. That's I think going back to kind of how we were talking about, it might have worked a little bit better had we not had any Predator in the first act, and then we start to see this stuff. But either way, I think it still works. But
yeah. So there's a section right around here where Max steps on a scorpion.
Oh yeah.
And then for whatever reason, Predator comes back to hold it, but
yeah.
I didn't know if that was supposed to be like foreshadowing, like of kind of what it looks like. Maybe. Yeah,
that's I thought it was kind of like a bit of like recognition or a similar like type of. Scorpion's essentially a predator as well. It's a predator, so it was kind of like a bit of recognition. Although everything else sort of compares the predator to reptiles.
Yeah, I think its skin is very reptilian for sure.
Because if anything, it foreshadows the alien, like the face hugger.
Oh yeah. Maybe that was like when the early designs as well. It looked more scorpion-like, and that was just in the script from then. The heat vision is very reptilian, like pit vipers, see it like that. Yeah.
I like we've got this, and they definitely kill that scorpion for real. It's squished for sure.
Yeah.
And then earlier you had like they kick a buzzard or vulture or something
it's a vulture, yeah.
They play a little loose with the animals.
Yeah, probably not a huge fan with the PETA community for ethical treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like seeing that like, stuff. I don't mind the scorpion, like, because probably they had to kill a scorpion at some point during shooting it anyway. Like, but
Sure.
kicking the vulture doesn't sit right with me.
No.
It's always a bit like the vulture seems to take it well though.
Sure, because it's kind of like mid, takeoff, so it doesn't it's not like a kick, it's more like a big shove.
Yeah,
nudge. Like shoo.
Yeah,
I think they might have added a bit of Foley to make it sound like you had it harder.
So we're getting to the one of the more iconic landscaping scenes in movie history.
Oh, you mean them mowing down, the trees and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we know anything about this team, they turn it up to 11 on everything.
Oh, man. That is some satisfying gunplay. And it works. It's nice juxtaposition of what Billy was saying earlier when they find the helicopter and then they starts to see, like, he picks up some shells off the ground. And saying that they were just firing in every direction, which leads you to think that they were just firing wildly without like more in a panic, and less accurate. And then you get a scene with these guys, and now they are the ones being erratic and just firing like everyone just fire. I mean, at least they're all kind of firing in the same general direction, but. It's these guys have now become the frightened and emotional the prey. So I do like that a lot. I like seeing the predators now being the prey.
Yeah, they show that up pretty good when the Joker gets it after chasing down Anna.
Hawkins, yeah.
And then apparently gets gutted, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
Whatever that pile of stuff was.
Yeah, I'm guessing he like sliced his belly and just lets all of his, takes all of his, like basically field dressed him, I think.
Yeah, he's like multitasking while running away.
Yeah.
It's kind of impressive.
That is pretty brutal when it sort of is sort of the first kill we see of the Predator. So it's good to establish that this thing is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because at first you don't know why he's doing it.
Yeah,
right.
Like, he's just like at first you're like, okay, so does he need to feed, or like you're still trying to figure out what the point of all this is.
Sure.
And you don't really get that until much later.
Well, I think earlier on seeing the skinned bodies, just being left behind. I think that's kind of probably meant to make you think a little bit of like the way people back in 1800s that would just go after the big buffalo hunts where they would kill a herd of buffalo and just take their pelts and just leave these hulking carcasses just to rot out. It's pretty horrible, and I think it's kind of meant to be like that. Like this thing is just killing for no reason. It's not killing for food or anything like that. So it's not for survival. It's just obviously for sport, like Dutch will say later.
So what is he like making a human coat? Like
he's making a brand new Edgar suit.
Yeah, he's what is it? Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, making a skin suit.
Skin suit. Like because later he's pulling out the skulls, like ripping out the spine. Like I'm trying to figure out what this trophy is he's making.
You see a bit in later films, they do just have like displays.
Yeah.
It's like shelves, pretty much, of just like parts, skulls and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's about the only thing I remember about Predator 2.
Yeah. This is also the first sort of hint when Hawkins gets killed that it won't kill someone who is unarmed or incapable of fighting.
Right.
Which is like my favourite thing about the Predators.
Oh, sure.
I love that they have this sort of honor system about them.
Well, and like just reading about it's like expanded, universe kind of stuff and backstory into the Predator, like their race. I think they're called like their actual species is called the Yautja or something like that.
Yeah, Yautja, yeah.
And it is like their whole society is based around the honor of hunting and that kind of thing. And you advance in the society based on like your kills, and you're not like it's kind of like you're not a man unless you've killed, so many things, or especially like the xenomorphs, the alien race. Like if they've killed, a nest of those, then they're really like, okay, now you're a man kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like a video game.
Oh yeah.
Where you have to collect achievements.
Yeah, XP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I'm trying to think of the way to describe this, but it's almost like a not gladiator, but I guess more warrior based class system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Spartan. Sort of.
Yeah. I was trying to think of an example and was blanking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Spartan.
That'd be, something we haven't really seen, like an army of predators.
No, yeah. The most we've seen is in Predators, which is, there's about 5 of them, I think.
Yeah. I saw it once and I don't remember much of it, but
yeah,
that would be
that's
cool.
Actually, I quite enjoy that because it goes into that quite a bit, like their society. Almost.
Okay.
You find out a bit more about them.
Cool.
Yeah, because they're more of a guerrilla warfare kind of clan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe they just work better in smaller groups or.
Yeah. So I think they're in like clans.
Yeah.
And they start hunting clans.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that they blended aliens and Predator together.
I think so too. Yeah.
Well, that came out of the comics, didn't it? It was originally because they cross over aliens and Predators with everything, and that was kind of the one that stuck and was very popular.
And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, they're both owned by the same studio, so they're.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder. I don't know which came first, the comics or Predator 2, where I think it was just kind of a throwaway thing, like the idea of showing an alien skull, in the Predator's like trophy case. I think it was probably just meant to be like, oh, this will be fun. This would be kind of a cool idea that it's killed this.
Yeah.
I don't know if, like I said, I don't know which came first, but I love that that spawns, all kinds of other material. So.
Yeah, I think it was the comics first because I have a feeling they were late 80s and the film was 90.
Gotcha.
I think so.
Yeah, I like Anna's line, or Anna, however you say it, where she translates what their people call them. The demon who makes trophies of men.
Yeah.
I was like, that is an awesome name.
Well, I also like the part of her story that makes it seem like they've come here before.
Yeah.
Like this is not necessarily a brand new thing, but it's taken place before. So I do like that idea.
Yep.
A little bit of like world building kind of thing.
And it lets you know that he's making trophies.
Well, yeah.
Like there's a reason for the one at a time mentality and
sure.
Yeah.
like why he's out there, if it's a he.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But did anyone else get a Boba Fett vibe from his attire?
A little bit. I never thought of the helmets.
Yeah. I suppose.
And like the tech weapons and the sort of pin keypad on the arm kind of thing.
Sure, yeah.
Just made me think of Boba Fett, like looking at him from the side, I think.
Yeah. See it.
And they're kind of the same mentality.
Yeah.
Bounty hunter in a sense.
I do like that once we start to get a little bit of a glimpse of the Predator, you can see that he's got like reptilian skin, but then he is covered with some tech, things like that, and then you start to realize like it's not just an animal hunting them; it's something that is intelligent.
Yeah,
you get that scene where he's getting the bullet out.
Yeah.
His little med kit.
Yeah. That is that a med kit or a torture kit?
Either.
That's frightening.
I do get a little distracted by the way he's trying to work around his hands with those claws. Like that's a little. Like costuming wise,
Yeah.
it's distracting, you know.
Yeah, it looks like big rubber gloves. It doesn't look like
Yeah.
a creature. But...
Stuff like that always bugs me when you see something with big rubbery hands. I always think of
you
the
can kind of see the fingers under it almost the way it moves. Like.
Yeah. I always think of the first time you see the goblins in the first Harry Potter movie, when it's like they've got these giant rubber long clawed hands, and they can only like function like half of them.
So I like that the Predator has a bit of a weakness with the very obvious blood trail and how easy it is to see it.
Yeah.
But no one else notices it. But
basically a glow stick.
Yeah, and that's what they use too. They use glow sticks, and it said personal lubricant was used, like for the to give it weight. I guess they used the neon fluid mixed with the lubricant to make that blood. So
that's interesting.
Yeah,
because it looks good.
Yeah. I thought it was, I mean, at one point when it's on her clothes, I think it's an effect that they just add in post. But when it's on the actual like plants, I thought it was, added in post, but it's really there. They probably, increased some of the brightness. I found myself like every time that they would show the jungle and that the predator is out there, I kept trying to look into the jungle and spot it, almost like you're looking at a magic eye or one of those photos of like something is camouflaged and you're like, oh, I can kind of see the shape. Like, especially like I know it's not there because I know that they specifically don't have it in this frame, but then I find myself like, oh, I wonder if I can see it, So, actually, did you guys look up how they did the effect of the invisibility?
No.
Let's see. So that, like we've talked about, they had someone wearing the bright red suit since it would be like the farthest opposite from the green of the jungle. The red was removed with a chroma key technique, which I'm not quite sure what is.
That's just like green screen. Essentially, it's the same thing. That's the technical term for green screening.
Okay. Says they remove it with that chroma key technique, leaving an empty area. Then the take was repeated without the actors and using a 30% wider lens on the camera. And then they blend the two so that the empty space is filled in by like another scene of the jungle. And it just kind of gives that vague outline.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Because you start seeing it and it's like, well, they obviously didn't. This isn't like computer, it's not CGI. And you can tell it's done.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I really like a lot of the invisibility effects. I think a lot of it really holds up.
Yeah, I mean, even the heat vision had to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah. They talked about that as well. Like they shot it once with like basically a heat capturing camera, and then like they had it kind of mounted like right next to each other, and then they shot it with basically just regular footage. So they turned the regular footage like black and white just to get like the general shape of like trees and leaves and that kind of stuff. And then obviously added like a blue filter over that. And then they overlaid the heat vision footage. So it kind of works, by kind of blends the two and makes it a little bit eerie and alien and give that general idea.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd have what you get when he takes the helmet off, because you couldn't tell the hot jungle from the human.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm still impressed by that.
Sure, I like the pairing of the like there's heartbeats and there's just it almost sounds like an ultrasound. When they're that sound of the womb, kind of the heartbeat and just all that stuff blended together makes it really unsettling, I guess.
Yeah, and that clicking noise he makes.
Oh yeah. I like that.
Whenever you hear something that he's sort of, I guess, recorded as well, when you hear that back, it always sounds really creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows like the wave pattern of the sounds, like when Billy's laughing or whatever, like he's learning as he goes, which we find out creepily towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, we get a nice showcase of his arsenal with the three-dotted sight thing
Yeah.
with the laser sight,
Yeah.
which I always thought was cool. And of course his Wolverine claws.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Always really like that. That's a great weapon. I
Sure.
don't like no weapon like that has ever really existed. I don't think that like an extendable claw thing, but it's an interesting thing.
yeah.
Because I think he makes a fist and then they come out.
Yeah.
Right.
So there must be like some kind of trigger mechanism in there. But yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed the wildly inconsistent plasma bullet thing, like how
Oh.
powerful it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it blows a hole through one guy,
Yeah.
Blaine, and then an awesome sequence with Dylan.
Yeah.
Rips his arm off.
But then it does like surface damage to
Yeah.
Dutch.
Arnold gets like a second-degree burn or something.
Yeah. Maybe it needs to charge up a bit. It's like how
that
much
could
energy.
I think Arnold's just that much of a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the scene with Dylan was just amazing to me.
Yeah.
Which one?
Where he's
The arm.
I was thinking
blown
Dutch.
off.
Yeah.
and he's like going into the woods to sort of like, or to the jungle to sort of make up for him causing all this.
Yeah. Kind of back up Mac.
And Mac obviously is a bit emotional.
A little bit.
Yeah. Mac goes crazy so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Just loses it. For a guy who's like elite special forces,
Yeah.
just loses his shit so quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, Blaine was his friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And
he
I
seems
love
to
that.
start going mad before that.
Yeah, I don't know what's with the weird razor thing.
Yeah, he's doing that at the start though in the helicopter. He's shaking.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's like a nervous thing that calms him down, or
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
it's just weird.
I really wasn't expecting the scene once Blaine is killed, like the amount of like the weight that they kind of add between Mac and with his dead friend, and then the brief little exchange between Mac and Dutch about him saying he was a good soldier, and then Mac saying that he was his friend.
Did they actually interact at any point in the film before that, though? I don't think they do.
Not really.
Blaine and Mac?
Yeah.
They have a couple exchanges, like one of them says, this reminds him of Cambodia, and he says, that was some rough jungle and nothing like this, or something like that. And then I think there's one other like brief little exchange.
It was about that mentioned where they deactivate one of the traps together.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I get the sense that they worked. Love.
Yeah. So I was really surprised once they ramp up that, I guess, drama, and then once Mac is odd choice to put him on guard duty right after all this, but he's sitting there drinking and he's like telling stories to himself about how they were, it was, I think he says Cambodia, or I'm not sure, but it says the two of them were the only ones that like walked out of all that without a scratch on them, or so.
Same kind of moon, same kind of jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a bit of the crazy eye.
Oh yeah.
A little bit. It's like a weird lighting. He looks like freaking haunting.
Oh yeah. He's always been one of those actors that just looks scary. His like sunken eyes, kind of like, he always has real creepy eyes to me.
Yeah.
Anything else on Act 2?
Just get to that damn chopper.
Yeah, we get more death. They don't even really show like Billy. He just decides he's gonna fuck off into the jungle after him.
I love that. He just takes his shirt off.
Yeah.
Just him and a knife. That is so good.
But I really wish we could have seen how it happened,
I like to think it was just instant though. Like he didn't even get a shot in. He just like, but he had to go, and that's what I like about it.
Sure.
Yeah, picture him just like swinging his knife and then getting chopped in half by the predator's claw.
There's actually a similar scene in Predators. There's someone tries to take it on one with a sword.
Oh, okay.
It's fantastic.
It doesn't end well for Billy Boy.
No.
You never know. We don't see it.
Yeah.
He just tripped over and injured himself, and then the Predator no longer saw him as a threat, and he was...
He just fell off the log, and he probably just like fell down, broke his leg, and he's just laying there in the riverbed with just waiting to die.
I kind of pictured that scream was just a delayed reaction to him cutting himself.
Oh yeah. Holy shit!
Wow, why did I do that?
A bit of sweat got into it.
Yeah.
It stings so bad.
Fire
ants.
And
then the predator just looks at him like, oh, whatever, moving on. Guy's an idiot.
And did you guys look up the actor, Sonny Landham, that plays Billy?
I have before. I can't remember
kind of a nut job.
Well, he was like his first kind of chunk of acting in the 70s, like late 60s, 70s, and I think by the time he was in The Warriors, whenever that came out, like all that acting between the 70s and Warriors was all like he was like a porn actor.
Yeah, I remember that now. I have looked him up before. I think mostly because I wanted to find out if he was actually Native American.
Oh, sure.
Why I looked him up before. But yeah, I remember hearing that.
And then like later on in his career, like in the 90s, he kind of tried to get political and run for office in Kentucky, and then had some really backwards ideas as far as anti-Muslim kind of stuff, and
wow.
Yeah, so I don't know if he ever actually held office or not, but
good Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just looked him up quickly. I was just looking at his Wikipedia page. He also got convicted on federal charges for making threatening and obscene phone calls to his wife.
Oh,
and spent 3 years in prison.
Nice. So that would explain the story that I saw, that there was a bodyguard on set to keep him under control.
That's right. I did.
Really?
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So that's a good person you want on your film set. Jeez.
Yeah.
There really are very few Native American actors out there, I guess, if that's where you're going.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
He died last year.
Oh, was it recent? Wow.
Yeah, August last year.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so Arnold's going for a swim.
Oh, yeah.
Tells Anna to get to the chopper. And then heroically falls into the water.
Honestly, I actually forgot that get to the chopper line comes from this movie. For some reason, I always think it's more of a Commando, or one of his other movies.
It could be any of his movies.
Yeah.
Apart from Conan, obviously.
Sure. Yeah, get to the chopper.
He recycles a lot, in case you haven't noticed.
I thought that would stick around earlier. I forgot that was from this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I imagine that's in something else as well. It's not using a gold linelet hat just once.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard, I forget where, but that he has his own kind of writers that will take the script and then add, the Arnold one-liner type stuff.
Yeah.
They will punch up his dialogue to get those one-liners in there.
Yeah.
So, let's see. So yeah, he's in the water. He kind of gets his first real look at the predator coming out of the water. So I guess the water has an effect on how his cloaking works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sparking and shocking. So apparently he doesn't have an OtterBox over that thing. Protect his iPhone.
Then we get the montage of just Arnold by himself in the woods is nice, especially because we saw earlier it was a whole team doing all the setup and laying the traps and doing everything, and it was like 3 or 4 of them trying to pull down a tree, And now we see like him kind of doing the same stuff by himself. I think is a nice setup of now it's all just one guy. So I like that.
It's I know it was in the previous act, but Dylan calls out the plan with doing the Boy Scout bullshit or whatever he said.
Yeah.
But Arnold mentions that he thinks, or somebody mentions that they think the Predator can see the tripwires, which I don't quite understand. Like how? I don't know why it would be any less difficult to find a oddly placed vine, or I guess I don't understand how the Predator sees the tripwire so easily, but can't see it.
It'd be colder than everything else, wouldn't it? No. Well, if it's metal, it would be hot in the jungle.
Yeah,
it's in the sun.
Know. It just seemed
weird. In
weird
the sun because it'd be in the jungle, would be under trees. But
I think it could also be something like he may not register things that aren't like organic or natural. Like if it just looks like foliage, and it looks like it's part of the terrain, I think like something like a solid tripwire or a mine probably stands out a little bit more because it doesn't match the environment. Maybe I don't know. It is kind of an odd thing too. I agree. So I'm not sure exactly where that comes from.
Because he manages to pull Blaine out from underneath their nose with all these tripwires everywhere.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice. It takes him. It feels like it takes him a little while to figure out the trees aspect of it.
Yeah.
That it's not really operating on the ground. That it's working in the trees and stuff like that.
There's some weird things in this that they seem to make leaps and assume and figure stuff out, and other things they take a while to figure out. Like that, for example, like you think you would figure that out pretty early that something was using the trees, even if you thought it was people. You could probably work out they were in the trees rather than on the ground.
Yeah. You'd think the meat tree would sort of give that away.
Yeah, and especially earlier Billy talking about how there's no tracks on the ground,
Yeah.
But I guess at that point,
figure it out before then.
Yeah, but even at that point, I guess you're thinking of humans. You're not thinking of something with the ability to really people can obviously climb trees, but not not what they're expecting.
Yeah, we skipped over Arnold's camouflage.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. Although that wouldn't last very long. I'm assuming his body would warm that mud up pretty quick.
Yeah, that definitely feels a little. I guess they're playing with the suspension of disbelief a little bit that he wouldn't have any body heat signature.
They didn't take into account Universal Soldier. From there, they have to get into an ice bath to fool heat vision.
Oh, right.
It doesn't last long anyway. It doesn't need to last that long in the first instance.
Sure.
Because Arnold's hoofing it pretty good.
Yeah.
But I love how the Predator figures it out and sort of weeds him out into the water.
Yeah.
Later on.
It does, that's something else that he seems to work out that it's using heat vision at that point.
Yeah.
Which seems like a leap, unless he knows a lot about reptiles. Like I said, he knows about vipers and is making the connection with, as the reptilian aspect of it. Then that is quite a leap. But.
Sure. But he does just say he couldn't see me, and he knows that he was frozen in place. So maybe he thinks it's more like a movement.
See, I was thinking that as well, but then he lights the fire to draw him out.
That's true, yeah.
That implies that I guess he would see the fire, but it seems to imply that he knows it's heat vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even if you know it's heat vision, you'd think, like most people, that it would be insanely difficult to spot you in a hot jungle, and that making yourself cooler would actually make you stand out more.
Again, pet vipers do it.
Yeah. And I don't know how hot the jungle stays at nighttime.
Yeah,
I guess it would probably still be pretty humid and sticky, but...
No, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the little cat and mouse game that they have going on throughout this, I I guess, battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of showcases the Predator's arrogance
Sure.
and sort of man's craftiness or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Because at some point he, does the great reveal, probably one of the coolest reveals out there.
You mean with him taking off the mask and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the mandibles and it's just so cool.
It really is. It is a gorgeous design. I guess that came from Stan Winston, the guy that crafted the suit and everything. He was on a plane with James Cameron, and Cameron's the one that I kind of asked him what he was working on, and so Winston told him a little bit, I guess, and then Cameron said, "You know what I've always wanted to see is mandibles on a creature," and so that's where that part of the design came from, or the inspiration or that idea came from Cameron. So
yeah, it pulled it off
totally
spectacularly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ironic that the two coolest mouths in movies are Predator and Alien.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was a really cool reveal. And then Arnold's reaction was awesome.
Yeah. You are one ugly motherfucker.
And I understand why he wears the mask, because it seems like a lot of stuff could get caught in there.
Yeah. I still like why he seems to take off his mask is because he at this point is going like unarmed, one-on-one.
Yeah, I think it's more of like a respect thing.
Totally. Yeah.
Like he sees Arnold as a worthy adversary or something.
Yeah. He sees him like he's unarmed, but this guy can obviously handle himself, so I'm going to fight him unarmed and unarmored, so I'm going to take my mask off.
That guy in the suit is just massively tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like 6'9".
He's actually, he's the helicopter pilot at the end. So.
Yep.
So I think, because I was looking it up, like, I think he's like 7 foot something.
I saw that maybe
he's just that big in the costume or something.
Yeah, I think that could very well be the case. I saw that he went from like 6'4" in his junior year, and by the end of his junior year of high school, he was 6'9". So he grew 5 inches in one school year, pretty late, in like your high school age. So
was junior how would that explain for?
Oh, sorry. That would be your
16 or 17.
16, 17. That's your second to last year of high school. So it goes junior then senior when you graduate.
Right.
So,
he could have grown a bit more since then as well.
Yeah.
I have a friend that took a growth spurt like that about that age. He was like about my height or slightly taller than me. I'm about 5'10", and then now he's 6'4".
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The Kevin Peter Hall is the guy in the Predator suit, and he was also Harry and the Hendersons in the movie, and I guess they did a TV series as well. But
and that's the Bigfoot movie, right?
Yeah.
In case people don't know who Harry and the Hendersons is, it's a rather random movie from 80s or 90s.
And he died in 1991 from he had a blood transfusion and developed AIDS.
Ooh.
So died from AIDS from a blood transfusion. So yeah. I guess he was also not too familiar with it, but Big John from Pee-wee's Big Top Adventure or whatever.
Oh gosh, that was an awful movie.
Was it?
Big Top, yeah. Oof.
I thought you might recognize, maybe that character. I know you're.
Yeah. I pretend I didn't ever see that movie. First one was good. Big Adventure. I was huge into Pee-wee as a kid.
Yeah.
I was very confused as to why they got rid of his show because he was at a movie theater. Didn't realize exactly what kind of movie theater, what was going on in there.
Right.
Okay, well, enough Pee-wee talk.
Yeah. What else can we say about Act 3? I mean, I do love the when Arnold basically issues the challenge. Lights the torch and just yells out
Screams.
that primal scream. Like that is awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
There's some bow he made as well.
What's that?
His bow. I love his bow. That he managed to make.
Yeah. I mean, it fires that thing horribly, but
sure. Yeah.
Well, that thing's not aerodynamic in any way either.
No.
No way that would work.
Sinks. Yeah. But I love that part where Arnold's like up in the tree and the predator crawls right behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's just so cool. Okay, so we get the awesome mimic evil laugh at the end from Billy.
Yeah, it didn't occur to me right away that was Billy's laugh until I watched it the second time.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That still gives me nightmares. Just that noise coming out of that mouth.
Yeah. That's what I always wondered. Is it making it with its mouth? Is it... I don't ever know if it was actually mimicking or it recorded and it's part of its tech somewhere.
I don't know. I saw the mouth moving, so it could just be mimicking the movement and playing the sound, I guess. But
I think
there's also it is making a noise as well. I think you can hear a clicking as well.
I think it's a bit of both throughout the movie because at one point he replays Mac saying "anytime" when he's hunting Dylan. Yeah. And then in this case, I think especially Dutch says, what the hell are you? And then the predator mimics that, and that's definitely coming from the predator's mouth.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of blended with like an alien voice kind of thing. So I think the laugh is coming from him as well. I don't think it's like the audio recording. I think he was imitating,
Yeah. It's something I've never been really that clear on.
Well, he enjoyed his battle with Arnold thoroughly.
Yeah.
So that was the appropriate response.
I was really surprised the first time I watched it, when the log comes down and crushes him, it kind of transitions and then you see the log starts to move like he's pushing it off of him. And then I was thinking it was, okay, it wounded him, but now he's getting back up for like the last, encounter or whatever. And I was genuinely surprised to see that that's really what took him out,
It's a big log.
It totally is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's a reasonable thing in an unreasonable movie.
Yeah. I do like that Arnold was going in to crush his skull with the rock and then, sees that he's already killed him. So,
yeah.
Yeah, good call. Now you got to run your ass off to avoid the atomic blast or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah. Self-destruction or auto-destruct. Yeah. Which is a great idea of what's it called?
Kamikaze?
Yeah, I'm trying not to say
That's all I can think of.
But taking yourself out so that so your enemy can't, I guess, or
yeah, it's kind of like a fail-safe of sorts.
Yeah.
So if you get taken down, you're taking them with you.
Yeah. And it basically leaves no trace,
Yeah, that's it. I think that is the point in it. They're not meant to leave a trace if they do get beaten as well. I think that was their kind of honor code thing. But seems kind of dishonorable to try and kill Arnold as well.
Sure.
But that is what he's done. Maybe he knows he can get to the chopper, but
yeah, well, hasn't he scattered his equipment throughout the forest too?
Oh yeah, I suppose.
Maybe. But yeah.
I guess it is a big blast to have
right. And they've basically been operating. I mean, but at least this third act all takes place in this one little valley or something. It's pretty self-contained.
He's got his little blanket of skulls somewhere.
Yeah, he does leave that behind somewhere.
That is kind of a cool scene though when he rips the skull out.
Oh yeah,
spinal cord.
Yeah,
so good.
Have you, by any chance, read Archie versus Predator?
No.
It's fantastic.
I knew it was a thing, but
yeah, no, it's amazing, and that they mimic that scene in it, and it's brutal but hilarious.
That seems like it'd be over in a couple panels, though.
It's not just Archie. He takes out quite a few people. But
The entire Riverdale town.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's well worth a read. It's one of the best comic book crossovers I think that has ever happened.
All right, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sort of ends ominously with the Dutch obviously going to be suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Absolutely.
Like that death, like 1,000-yard stare he's got going on in the chopper.
Yeah, that is a nice end final shot kind of thing.
I assume things don't go well for this point on for Dutch boy.
Well, there's rumors he's going to be in the new one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
That's cool.
I mean,
yeah.
what would he say? I mean, when his superiors say, "What the hell happened in this jungle?" Like, what do you say?
Yeah. Well, either doesn't say anything or nobody believes him because when
Sure.
it happens again, nobody seems to know what's happening.
Yeah.
Or maybe there is a hint. I'm trying to remember if maybe in Predator 2 there's a hint about what he said. I can't remember it well enough.
I'm actually really looking forward to seeing it because I only saw, maybe most of it as a kid, but I don't know if I watched it all, but
It's a lot better than people say it is,
okay.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else as far as the act goes, so I don't know
Well,
about you guys.
No, but I do want to talk about the end credits.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What is that? That's the weirdest.
Yeah, it's like
cheesiest
thing. Like it's just like a hey, smile and turn to the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially Carl Weathers when he catches the gun.
Yeah.
As Shane Black's reading Sergeant Rock comics.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, some of them are a little more candid than the others, but yeah, definitely some of them are pretty cheesy.
Arnie's is all right, but
yeah.
the Carl Weathers one especially, he catches the gun, turns and smiles.
Yeah. And that's such a style choice that they really don't do anymore.
It's like, hey, we were just kidding. This is just a movie. Everyone's okay.
Yeah.
I think a movie like Deadpool 2, if they could do something like that, where all the stars of the movie kind of get their credit shot.
Yeah,
that could be kind of fun.
Funny with Carl Weathers because it's like they're purposely showing that he still has his arm.
Oh yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah,
it's just weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's a different time. I honestly can't think of another movie that has that. I know there is, but
oh yeah, Princess Bride has the end credit.
Oh yeah.
It feels more like the start of a sitcom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do
What's
feel
the
like
weird thing? This is a pretty gruesome action movie that ends with a smiley montage.
Top Gun.
Blues Brothers has that.
Yeah.
Top Gun.
They do it.
Jeez.
Blues Brothers has they'll sing a piece in Blues Brothers. Can't remember what the song is at the end, but Jailhouse Rock is they'll have a line in it, and it's like the single panel cards.
Yeah, I sort of try to forget that whole credit sequence.
Yeah, I always do. So it always surprises me when it happens.
It's just so out of place.
Yeah.
It's just too happy-go-lucky for such an ominous ending.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, I'm glad that's all over with and no more Predators.
Yeah.
Until the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they were in the jungle. Now they're in the urban jungle.
Yep.
So it makes sense.
And the heat wave.
Yep.
Sorry. Just thinking about that movie now.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be kind of a villainous kind of movie.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Yeah.
Well, I've got one. Okay. Yeah. The villainous. Just Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
The setup is kind of the most villainous thing that happens. Because I don't really regard anything the Predator does as villainous, really. It doesn't feel villainous.
Yeah. Yeah, we've run into this before with Aliens,
Yeah.
where the main monster isn't really the villain.
Yeah, the Predator's obviously more intelligent and could be villainous, but I think because it's kind of honorable in a way, it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. I'd say like if the Predator had been setting traps for them, that could lean into villainous, but he doesn't even do that. It's all a hunting thing. That it's not a
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that is like what Rory mentioned with the whole exploding himself thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about as villainous as he gets.
And even on the flip side, there's not a lot of heroic stuff in the movie either. I mean, the idea that they're going in to rescue hostages is heroic, but we find out that that's not why they're there, and they don't come out with any hostages.
Yeah.
At no point are they like, okay, well, let's find these hostages. They shoot first, and then it's like, I didn't find any hostages. You?
I guess the closest would either be Billy, stand back to slow down the Predator for like 5 whole seconds.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down. Billy going 1-on-1 is my most heroic moment.
Good intentions for execution on that one.
Sure. I guess you could say, Dylan kind of going to back up Mac.
Yeah.
Like he realized that, he even says like, I want to make things right, or like he says something to kind of that effect.
And maybe Blaine as a person is fairly villainous. He seems like a real, not the greatest person.
Oh, you like with his opening line in the helicopter? Yeah.
They seem like the worst team ever in that helicopter.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like nobody likes each other except for that unspoken bond between Mac and Blaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe Arnold yelling at Anna to get to the chopper while he slides down a mountain.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. There's Arnie sort of taking on the Predator 1-on-1 as well.
Sure.
Fairly heroic.
Yeah, I mean the huge heroic scenes though, torch in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's his hero shot.
A lot of heroic like shots and images, but not a lot of heroic acts, I guess.
Yeah.
But and like we said, same could be said for villainous. A lot of leaving the bodies like hanging up in the helicopter, or not in the helicopter, the meat tree, like that kind of stuff is pretty sinister. But
I suppose, yeah.
Okay. So do you want to do Rotten Tomato guess?
Yeah, absolutely.
Attack of the killer tomatoes. Attack of the killer tomatoes. They'll beat you, bash you, squish you, mash you, chew you up for brunch, and finish you off for dinner or lunch.
Okay. So we're going to guess critic versus audience percentage-wise. I have not looked at this as usual.
Oh, well, if you want to hold off, I actually know what it is.
Ah, okay.
'Cause I happened to see it, so if you want to take part in guessing.
Okay, then. I will let you then be the judge.
Okay.
So, action movies are always difficult from a critic standpoint.
Yeah, especially older ones. Yeah.
I'm going to go like a 42 with the critic.
Ooh.
And audience, I'll say is like 88.
I'm going to go, I think you're well low in the critic. I'm going to say 76 in critics and about 86 audience.
Okay.
Travis, even if I'm wrong, tell me I'm right.
Let's see. So what did you say? You said 40 something?
42 for the critic and 88 for the audience.
Okay. And Rory,
I'm looking at it now and I hate myself.
Said 76, 86.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's is it the tomato meter? Is that the critics?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's 80%.
Jeez.
So Rory definitely closest on that one.
Yeah.
I was gonna go higher as well. Your 40 put me off.
Yeah. and then audience score of 87. So 1 point. Well,
Ooh.
actually, you guys were
We
holy
split
shit.
it.
Yeah, it's 88 and 86, and it was 87. So
Oh man, I did not think this would be critically acclaimed. That's a lot of positive
yeah,
feedback from the critics.
I think it's been re-released as well, and that sometimes skews those, I think.
true.
Yeah, it's always tough with this because there could be that nostalgia kick,
Yeah.
since obviously Rotten Tomatoes wasn't around,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
87.
But I also think that there's an element of, this movie accomplishes everything it sets out to be,
Yeah.
So I think there's part of some of that.
Okay, I lose. I'm awful.
Yeah, you should feel bad.
Man, I wasn't even close on the critic.
It does seem high. I mean,
I would never have thought 80% from the
Yeah.
critics on a 1987 Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
sure.
But this is the best Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
I guess. Man, I think that's the furthest I've ever been off on this.
Yeah, probably.
Good Lord. That like literally almost doubled like what I guessed.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to do our thoughts and ratings?
Sure. Guess I'll go first.
Okay.
It's in its own way kind of a groundbreaking movie as far as effects that became more commonplace, specifically the heat vision.
Yeah.
The invisibility stuff.
Yeah, the cloaking.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they did a little bit of that in the Star Trek movies, but this was done on a moving, like in the real world object. So it's a couple steps up. The pure like action of it is just, everything you want in an 80s action film.
Yeah.
You got the sort of, I don't know, I think of the 80s as like the era of He-Man and G.I. Joe and like sort of overblown male portrayal just in popular culture. So this is basically like He-Man as in the physiques in this movie and then the action of a G.I. Joe. So this is like pretty much the epitome of 80s popular culture.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I personally put this at, I have to put it at a 5. It's weird saying that because it's, what it is, but I just can't find anything really that bad with it. And it's just what it does so well. And I mean, I don't think of it as a perfect movie, but it's perfect for what it is.
Yeah.
So definitely going 5. Just sounds weird.
Yeah. Rory, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. For what it is an Arnold Schwarzenegger 80s action film, and it is the best one by far. It's also set up a great series. It has a great concept, and it is one of, I think, maybe my second favourite action film of all time. And yeah, I'm also going to give it a 5.
Wow.
So I don't think, like Patrick, I agree with you entirely. I don't think there is a better example of this kind of thing, and it is perfect for what it is.
All right, Travis, no pressure.
I am right there with you guys. My notes actually said that it's not a perfect movie, but it is a perfect action movie. Because, I mean, what else? I mean, it's definitely a product of its time, and like Patrick, like you said, the characters are, they're He-Man characters, they're all like, physically as larger than life. It perfectly blends like this G.I. Joe type thing with, this guerrilla warfare, G.I. Joe characters in the jungle with just enough of like a sci-fi edge. I mean, you shouldn't really call this movie a sci-fi movie, but there's just enough hint that, this is a creature from space, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but it blends it perfectly. It just fits together so well. Yeah. And Rory, like you said, it sets up something. It's a good, kicking off point because you want to see more. You want to see. It's like the Alien.
Yeah.
You want to see this creature in other environments and other situations. So, I absolutely give it a 5 because it is probably a perfect action movie, like I've already said. So it sounds weird, but yeah. This is definitely a 5.
Yeah, I almost knocked it 0.25 for the credit sequence.
Okay. Yeah,
because that almost ruined it.
Well, and it's like I initially wrote down like a 4.5, but then it's like I felt like I had to do that because I was like, well, surely it can't be a perfect 5, So I gave it a 4.5, and then thinking it's like, well, what knocks it down half a point? And then I couldn't think of anything. I mean,
yeah, because with the title sequence, you just turn the movie off and you don't see it. So
sure.
Yeah. See, from the minute I turned it on to watch it, to do this, I had a big smile on my face. So that's kind of when I knew I was going to give it a 5. Is if I enjoy it that much, the minute it starts, I know I'm going to have a great time watching it.
Yeah.
Then it's got to be a 5.
I should have mentioned this earlier, but that scene with the torch kind of made me think of he should have been saying, "I have the power."
Yeah.
He-Man.
Oh, man.
It was very reminiscent. But I think I'm most impressed by Arnold's ability to still be physically active with the amount of cigar smoking he does. Like that alone, oof, good lord. I guess he smokes like a chimney on this film set.
Sure.
I don't understand how you do that. But yeah, we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Never thought
crazy.
I'd say that with you two, but it's going to be weird having 2 perfect movies back to back coming up.
Yeah.
Predators, Spaceballs. I mean, doesn't get much better than that. Double feature.
About that.
Okay, we'll wait for the glowing reviews later.
Gotta save it, So yeah, I guess no point. I mean, holy shit, we've been building up to this next one for what? Since the beginning? I don't remember when we first started talking about Spaceballs, but that is the next movie.
Probably around Star Wars, I would imagine.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And yeah, so Rory will be joining us again, so it's going to be a fun time, I think.
I think this started when I made him watch it for Hangover review.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep, that is that. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
And he proceeded to dump on it like nobody's ever dumped on my childhood before. I mean, he basically told me that Santa Claus not only wasn't real, but that I was an imbecile for ever believing that he existed.
I need to watch that video again. I don't think I was that harsh.
That's how it is in my head. If there was like not a thumbs up, thumbs down, but just like a tear symbol I could click on, that's what I would have clicked on. So now I'm going to have to revisit that for the next episode just to refuel my rage. I don't think it was honestly that bad, but in my head I've built it up that bad. He probably just said, it's okay. Or, it's not that great. But in my head, he basically just took the DVD out and urinated on it. So, we'll see.
Yeah. Maybe we'll all change our minds on it. Maybe this time around, Patrick's going to watch it and be like, man, this isn't very good. And
I purposely have not watched it since.
Wow.
Just
Me too.
Make sure.
Yeah. That's why I haven't watched it either.
I have the DVD. It's cool.
It is on. I did find that it's on Amazon Prime. So I guess any of our listeners, if you're looking for it, you can find it there to watch it.
You're pretending like they don't have the VHS,
The
Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray, and digital copy with ultra high definition. It's basically like the Beatles' White Album for movie lovers. You have to get it in every format. Crickets.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are going to just eat your words, I swear.
Yeah.
I will talk you into a 5.
Well, we should probably save some of this, for next time.
Okay, but as you're watching it, think to yourself, is this or is this not better than episodes 1, 2, and 3?
I could answer that right now, but I'll obviously...
Okay. I guess we should end it before I start getting all emotional.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Rory, a pleasure to agree with the movie.
Yeah.
Although we did agree on Star Wars, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
One last thing, I wanted to share a little bit of feedback we got for Predator. I reached out to the Podmates Facebook group, and we got from Andy Hughes. He says, Predator is one of those perfect action movies of its time. It's the hyper-masculine characters facing against something much stronger than them that makes it also interesting. If you haven't tried the Arnie Carl Weathers handshake at some point, you haven't lived. So thanks to Andy Hughes. Andy is the host of Dinosaur Man Nerdcast podcast, and you can find his show at dinosaurmannerdcast.buzzsprout.com. So again, thanks to Andy for sending in that feedback. If you have feedback for a future episode or even an older episode, send them to reelcomicheroes@gmail.com, and we will share them on the show. Rory, thanks for joining us on short notice. So
yeah, no problem. Anytime. Especially if I get to watch a movie like this. That's fine with me.
Yeah. Why don't you hit your plugs and tell our listeners, remind them, I guess, where they can find you.
Yeah, sure. You can go to doghairnetwork.com to find all my links and stuff. I have a podcast called Doghair Presents. Forgot what it was called. It's called Doghair Presents, and every week I sort of tell you, and I've guest host now at the moment, about a topic, usually pretty geeky, but not necessarily. Travis has recently been on to talk about the Stone of Destiny and Gladiators.
Yeah.
So you check out those episodes. I also have a YouTube channel called Hangover Reviews, where I review things to watch and do with a hangover. I think that's how you can find me on social media at Hangover Reviews, Twitter and Instagram, and Hangover Reviews on Facebook. And I think that's
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone check out the Spaceballs episode to understand what kind of situation I'm in.
Yeah.
And let him know if he's right or wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Get definitely want as much Spaceballs I guess feedback or thoughts.
Praise.
Sure. Before the next episode, so we can share all that. So let's see. You can find us, or you can send those emails to reelcomicheroes@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at reelcomicheroes. I think we all need to rest up and get prepared for the next episode.
I'm just gonna get out the punching bag.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to pretend to catch a gun and just cheesily smile at the camera.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of remind me of Foo Fighters video with Big
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Now that I think about that.
Yeah.
Little Mentos moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, well, we'll see you next time with Spaceballs, The Final Frontier.
The motion picture.
The motion picture. I knew that.
All right. Stay safe out there, citizens.
There it is, planet Druidian. And underneath the air shield, 10,000 years of fresh air. We must get through that air shield.
We will, sir. Once we kidnap the princess, we can force her father, King Roland, to give us the combination to the air shield, thereby destroying planet Druidia and saving planet Spaceball.
Everybody got that?
Spaceballs, the movie.
Princess Vespa spaceship within range, sir. Good.
What's going on? It's either the 4th of July or someone's trying to kill us.
Now we will show her who is in charge of this galaxy. If you do not give me the combination to the air shield, Dr. Slotkin will give your daughter back her old nose.
Only one man and his trusted companion can save planet Druidia from disaster.
Okay, Eagle 5, coming in.
Lone Star.
First, they must learn the secrets of yogurt.
Yogurt. I am the keeper of a greater magic. The Force? No. The Schwartz.
Avoid capture on a distant planet.
Tell them to comb the desert, you hear me? Comb the desert! Found anything yet? We ain't found...
Battle the entire Spaceball army.
My hair! He shoved my hair!
Holy...
And escape the clutches of Dark Helmet.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Abandon ship! Proceed to escape pods! What the hell's the matter with this seatbelt? Ah! When does this happen in the movie? Give me ball!
Spaceballs. The movie.
How do I know you're not making faces at me under that thing? And may the Schwartz be with you!
Schwartz is as big as mine.